Robin on my teacup. June, Part 2. The baby blackbird. I'm sitting here in our potting shed for a second time, and you might wonder why. And that's because I want to tell you all about what happened to the blackbirds on the shelf. But that's the second part of the story. To begin with, I'm telling you about what happened to the thrush. Our song thrush, as well as blackbird, have second broods. The thrush is sitting on 4 pure blue eggs in the bay tree just below our bedroom window. And the blackbird laid eggs again in the nest on a shelf in the potting shed just here. They have hatched 4 young from their first eggs and have now tried again. Both blackbird and thrush sat tight on their nests of hatching eggs. Then one morning, very early, there was a drip, drip, dripping outside our bedroom window. In my dream, I thought we had water all over the bedroom. But when I woke up in a panic, thinking we would be flooded, I realised it was chick, chick, chick. It was an alarm call, but it wasn't a bedside alarm clock. It was the scolding of a blackbird outside. Then I heard the sad cries of the song thrush. Bleary-eyed, we opened the window and saw that a magpie was raiding the song thrush nest. The young, defenceless nestlings had just hatched. We saw their babies being dragged out and devoured by the magpie. We had caught him in the act, and we clapped and shouted, sorry that we might have woken you, neighbours. But he gulped down the last blind hatchling. Then he flew off over Oak Meadow with a cackle. You probably know that the song thrush is in danger and relies on our gardens for breeding. Suitable hedgerows in fields are scarce, and not many are successful anyway. Song thrushes are in danger, and they need our help. There is not much we can do about the magpies, but we can help the thrushes in another way. Thrushes eat slugs and snails, so to make sure that the thrush is not poisoned, a lot of people like us have stopped using the normal slug pellets. Instead, we often go out at night and pick the slugs and snails off our plants. But this was a horrible job, and so we have made slug traps. You'll be pleased to know that the potting shed blackbirds fared better than the thrushes. The young hatched safely, and soon the parents were going backwards and forwards again with beaks full of worms. They were safe from the magpie, who did not dare venture into our potting shed here, especially if we were inside. Yesterday the baby blackbirds fledged, and they took their first frantic flight into our garden. They were on our lawn begging for food from their busy parents. But there was one fledgling that was more hesitant than the others. Its brothers and sisters were out of the shed, but it stayed here, and I caught him trembling in our potting shed on a shelf near a can of lager. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. We don't come in here and have a quick drink. We use the alcohol to make traps for slugs. Honestly, we do. We fill a jar and half bury it. The slugs can't resist a sip or two, and then they fall in. The good news is that the reluctant baby blackbird eventually left the safety of this shed and left the cans of lager alone. Also, the thrush has built a new nest in a bush just outside our front door, and I'm hoping that the magpies dare not come near this time. Now I will drink to that.